I mean, it would be nice to save money and have a leaner government, but
Right.
these kids show up and they're trying to get into agencies. It's very disorienting because there was no planning in the sense of there's no, disclosure agreements. Nobody knows what they're getting. They're getting taxpayers' information. And a lot of it probably is illegal. And, it's just an insane situation. And Elon Musk, there's a piece about him in the book.
Oh, yes.
All right, you all, let's get into it, because today we're diving into one of the wildest shifts happening right under our noses. Remember, when Elon Musk was the electric car guy and Joe Rogan was that fear factor dude with the weird bug challenges? Well, now, apparently, they're the faces of conservatism. Why? Because they dared to criticize woke culture. Yup, that's where we are. In this convo between Maureen Dowd and Bill Maher, two heavy hitters in the world of media and commentary, they unpack how the lines between left and right have gotten blurrier than ever. Maher, who's been a liberal icon for decades, is straight up over the left's obsession with identity politics, and he's not shy about saying it. Instead, he's calling for a return to old-school liberal values, freedom of speech, open debate, individual rights, all that good stuff that used to be the baseline. So what does it mean when the people who used to be cheered on by the left are now getting booed off the stage? Let's talk about it.
I mean, it would be nice to save money and have a leaner government, but
Right.
these kids show up and they're trying to get into agencies. It's very disorienting because there was no planning in the sense of there's no, disclosure agreements. Nobody knows what they're getting. They're getting taxpayers' information. And a lot of it probably is illegal. And, it's just an insane situation. And Elon Musk, there's a piece about him in the book.
Oh,
from
yes. But it's
2017.
pre. I mean,
Yeah,
it's the old.
when he
the
didn't
old
like,
when he.
when he didn't like
It's funny.
Trump.
He also was a liberal hero.
Yeah.
Not that I'm a conservative hero now.
Yes.
And he fully went all the other way.
Right.
As Joe Rogan used to also be quite liberal.
Right.
But the Elon piece is from what, 27?
Well, Silicon Valley was liberal, and now it's very
Yeah, and
Republican.
He did the Tesla.
Right,
I mean, there was
right.
lots.
And everybody in Hollywood had a Tesla.
And I remember when it wasn't that long ago when he was just posting things before he owned Twitter that were fairly benign and similar to the way I thought were. Like I remember once he put like a graph of like, here I am, and here's where the common sense used to be, the middle, and here's here's how it's moved. And, he had the left abandoning it, which it has in many ways.
Right.
So he, sees himself as in the middle while the shift has happened. I see that too, but I didn't go all the way.
Yeah, he's gone very far.
So let's break this down, because what's happening here isn't just political gossip, it's a major vibe shift. Bill Maher and Maureen Dowd are basically sitting there going, wait, how did we end up here? And honestly, insane. They're talking about how guys like Elon Musk and Joe Rogan, once darlings of the progressive crowd, are now labeled as far-right or conservative. Why? Because they're out here calling out cancel culture, pushing back on woke excesses, and talking about things like free speech. Apparently, that's controversial now. And Bill Maher, who's always been a liberal, is clearly fed up. He's like, how did the left go from being the free speech warriors to the speech police? He's not wrong. There's a big chunk of the left that's ditched Enlightenment-style liberalism for this weird blend of moral puritanism and internet groupthink. It's not about debating ideas anymore. It's about policing language and demanding ideological purity. Now Maher and Dowd aren't siding with the right either. They're just pointing out how messy and tribal everything's gotten. You criticize one thing, and suddenly you're branded a traitor. It's like there's no room for nuance anymore. No middle ground. Either you're chanting the slogans, or you're the enemy. These aren't fringe opinions. More and more people are feeling politically homeless because of this realignment. You've got lifelong liberals saying, hey, maybe I didn't leave the left left me. So yeah, when Maureen and Bill are dragging woke excesses, they're not doing it to be edgy. They're doing it because they remember a time when liberalism stood for something deeper, something more than just hashtags and censorship disguised as compassion. Anyway, this shift isn't going away anytime soon. It's not just politics, it's identity, media, tech, culture, all meshed together. And if you blink, you might just wake up one day and realize you've been rebranded without even changing your views.
But I think the problem is he does not believe in government. So he's perfectly happy to eviscerate government. And he's treating it like a business or something.
Yeah.
And it's government. You know, you can't do that. And
No,
I'm not saying I don't want to get rid of stupid and wasteful
Right.
things.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the way they're doing it, you know, just imagine Washington and this crazy pack of kids running around getting everyone's information.
even if you were going to metaphorically demolish a building,
Mm-hmm.
say a building does need to be demolished, wouldn't you go in first and take out whatever is valuable?
Right, right.
You know, you'd go into the...
But they just show up. I mean, I
And
can't
then
see
blow it
Trump.
up.
Yeah, Trump is treating it. I used to like this TV show when I was little called Treasure Chest, where Jan Murray would open the treasure chest
Jan
every
Murray.
week. Remember that?
Vaguely, I don't...
Remember?
Sounds vague.
And so
was it a game
there's-
show?
Yeah, so there's
Treasure
that
chest.
thrill of them getting into an agency and finding the things that are stupid to cut, but there's more to it than that, you know.
Let's talk about the collapse of chill, because according to Bill Maher and Maureen Dowd, America has officially forgotten how to hang out without declaring war. So in this part of the convo, they're not ranting about politics per se, they're mourning the vibe. They're talking about how social spaces, especially in DC, used to be these rare spots where Republicans and Democrats could be in the same room, share a drink, maybe even laugh at the same joke. Now, not a chance. The trench lines are dug, and nobody's crossing them, not even for cocktail shrimp and good gossip. Maureen reminisces about dinner parties where political rivals would actually talk to each other like humans. That's basically extinct now. Everyone's in their own silo, watching their own news, and assuming the worst about anyone outside their tribe. And Maher, he takes it a step darker. He's like, I don't know if we come back from this before something actually breaks. He's imagining some full-blown dystopian ending, like cars flying off the road, people on fire, Statue of Liberty half buried in the sand. You get the picture. But the point is real. This isn't just about politics. It's about the loss of shared spaces, shared facts, shared humanity. When even small talk becomes a landmine, how do we fix anything? And that's the heart of it. Maher's not just being dramatic. He's warning us. If we can't even coexist socially, we're not going to fix the economy, the climate, or the chaos in our institutions. It all starts with being able to sit at the same table again. And right now, that table's in flames.
It's funny that you really have to reiterate over and over again where you are, because each side wants to only pick the things
Right.
that they agree with and then pretend that the other side of you doesn't exist, but it does exist, and I have to always say it. But my big problem with liberals is that they basically, liberals is one thing, but woke, okay. They basically forgot and don't defend and don't want to defend what liberalism is. I mean, all the things that I think make us great, like personal, individual liberty, rule of law,
Right.
What we would call Western values, scientific inquiry, human rights, women's rights, gay rights, freedom of speech, trial by jury, all these things that were, I'm sorry, invented in Athens and Rome and Paris and London and Philadelphia. I guess they're bad because they came from white people. I don't know. But they want to turn their back on this.
Well, also,
That's Western civilization. That guy that they just threw out of the country, and I'm against it because he didn't break any laws. It's just a freedom of speech thing. I
Right.
defended him even though he's a dirtbag who I hate. But his slogan was, they want to tear down Western civilization. I mean,
Right.
saying it out loud, the out loud part, tear down. Well, Western civilization, I think, is a good thing.
Yeah.
And basically, that's where the liberals lost me and
Yeah.
lost their way. They forgot about Western civilization because woke is all about identity and not about ideas.
Right.
Thanks for watching, y'all. Seriously, I appreciate you hanging out and diving into this with me. If you got something out of it, hit that like button, drop a comment, and let me know what you think about this whole political realignment thing. Are we headed for a crash, or can we pull it back? And hey, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We've got more commentary, more culture breakdowns, and way more conversations that actually matter. Until next time, stay sharp, stay curious, and don't be afraid to think out